G'day. Another fitting in aluminium this time. This one has a M18x1 thread on it. That black background, that's the background I use in my CAD. Is that common? Let me know in the comments if you use a black background too for your CAD work. Thank you. This is the Hercus DOS software. I'm using a 12mm drill, stub drill, to drill a hole. So as that's a fairly robust sort of drill, I'll be using that as the stop to pull the work out to. I'll be using lengths of material 500 long, and it's 1-inch material. This is a canned cycle. That G66 line you can see up there in red, that and the following data shows or tells the lathe where to go. This bit I've slowed down, that bit there, that is a radius, but it comes out at a tangent, and the reason I do that is because the bar stock is invariably not round. So if you come out at a tangent, it just allows it to blend out nicely without leaving you funny lines on the surface of the material. That's the grooving tool. Job finished. That goo on the end of that is just a bit of WD-40 that I spray occasionally on the drill, just to stop it squeaking and keep it lubricated. As I said before, that's a standard stub drill, not a CNC stub drill, just a standard stub drill. I think 0.11 is about the recommended feed per revolution for a drill that size. 1600 RPM is the recommended speed or revolutions, and then the spindle speeds up to 3000 RPM for the turning. That's an aluminium insert. I'm using spray mist through a Noga misting unit. I've had it for years. I bought that before the cheap ones came out on eBay, but I don't regret having spent the money on it. It's been a good unit. Can you see the run out there on that little bit of where the radius meets the OD of the stock? That's that tangential radius run out there. That's a full form insert creating the thread. On the CNC, I think I've only ever cut about 2 threads without using a full form insert. The threads are just so good. Completely formed, root and crest, and it's just a brilliant way to cut a thread. Yes, you need an insert for each thread, but I've got to use mine many times. I think there's hardly an insert in my box of inserts which has only been used for the one job. Really don't need to say much there, do I? Drill's just getting on with the job nicely. See a swarf passing down the flutes. Exactly the way you want it to be. Here's that radius where it blends out to the, or will be this time round, where the radius blends out to the OD. There's a couple of bits there. They're just, there's a rubber hose goes around the outside of this, and they're just to give the, when you clamp it, it's just to give it some bite into the hose. There's the threading. That still is so that you can see there's just a single piece of swarf coming off there. When cutting, it goes down the side of the thread. It's called flank cutting, and it only produces swarf on the front cutting edge. And that's the best way to do it, because if you actually try to use a V tool to cut plunge straight in, you get swarf coming off both sides, and it's not a good way to be. The swarf tends to choke itself and creates a bad finish. Here we're looking at the other end. Boring bar, making steps, and you have to have a second pass over that, or there are lines visible in the finish where those steps were created. You'll see it in the second shot of this. It's not so visible. The steps are visible in this shot, but not the lines that it leaves when you only clean it up with a single pass. See the steps? It doesn't do an angle. Going down the angle is just a number of steps. Then it will do a clean-up pass, but it leaves lines where the steps are until you clean it up like that, which you can see in the next view. Now if you watch when the steps are finished and the first pass goes over it, you'll see there are actually lines visible. See those lines on the back surface? And then they get cleaned off with a finishing cut. I had the microscope out for another job, so I thought I'd show you what the threads came up looking like. Really quite pleased with that. Really can't complain about anything. The only thing to complain about is how difficult it is to get things clean under a microscope. Alright, that's the finished part, and thank you for watching.